Moon in Scorpio. Who can you trust? One thing Scorpios, and especially Moon in Scorpios, struggle with is trusting people. Who can they trust? Who can't they trust? It's interesting. By the way, if you're a first time watcher, I'm Lamar Townsend. I'm a natural intuitive, clairvoyant, clairaudient, empathic, psychic tarot reader. And I would love it if you would check out my website, lamartownsendtarot.com, where you can purchase your own personal psychic tarot reading or your own personal, private, confidential birth chart reading. All of my readings, whether they are a tarot reading, personal tarot reading, or a birth chart reading, all my readings are private and confidential. And I would love to do a reading for you, Scorpio. So check out my website, lamartownsendtarot.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at Lamar Townsend. You can also like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Lamar Townsend Official. And I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video if it resonates and if you like it. And also share with your friends and family, okay? Moon in Scorpio. Who can you trust? Who can't you trust? Well, one thing that I find with Scorpios, and maybe, Moon in Scorpio, this may resonate with you. I hope it does, or maybe not. I'm not really sure. One thing that, I find with Scorpios, and, maybe I can resonate with this in my own, way because my Venus is in Scorpio and I have Pluto in Scorpio as well. I'm a Capricorn Sun, Virgo Rising, and my Moon is in Libra. So, yeah. But I find with Scorpios that all too often they find themselves feeling or getting betrayed by people that they trust or people that they felt they could trust or, people that they even thought loved, or liked at one point, brought into their lives, because, a moon in Scorpio, Scorpio in general, but a moon in Scorpio doesn't bring someone into their lives very easily because we have to think, the moon placement in our birth charts are our inner selves, our inner, our inner, child, the self that we don't show other people, the self behind closed doors, you know what I'm saying? Whereas the sun is the self that we portray to the outside world. So, in our youth, in our childhood, we're more, I guess, we're more in touch maybe with our moon sign, I think, when we're younger, because the moon sign relates to the inner child, and then as we grow older, I think we develop more into those sun sign qualities. And then if we think about it, okay, the moon sign is the inner child, well, the sun sign is the adult protecting the inner child, right? So the moon sign is the self that you only show behind closed doors, the self that you only show to people that you trust and love and, feel you can be yourself with, right? So when someone like that betrays you and betrays your trust and breaks your heart and does something that disappoints you or, it's just really very upsetting. And this is maybe something that Moon and Scorpio finds himself dealing with throughout their lives, time and time again, being betrayed by people truly that they loved, like family, maybe even, like, and it's just very hurtful. So, but it's interesting because Moon and Scorpio, you're also a very intuitive placement. Your Scorpio is a very intuitive zodiac sign, all the water signs are very intuitive in their own ways. Scorpio is a very intuitive sign in that they are able to see through the truth of everyone and everything. But sometimes Scorpios can be afraid to see the truths in themselves or face the truths in themselves. And in that same vein, sometimes Scorpios can be untrustworthy, sometimes even of themselves and their own intuition, Because it's interesting, Moon in Scorpio. I think that, first of all, at the end of the day, the only person that we have is ourselves to rely on, right? I think, I'm a Capricorn, you're a Scorpio. Well, my moon is in Libra, so Libras, rely on everybody, but, as a moon in Scorpio, I think, and as my sun in Capricorn, two very independent signs, I think, that we, especially Scorpio, moon in Scorpio, they're just very, very independent. You don't too much like to rely on people. So when you do rely on someone and they disappoint you time and time again, you learn just not to trust anyone. And then, you know, throughout time you develop, certain skills and abilities to be able to kind of detect certain people that you already know are going to end up betraying you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can just tell the signs, right? As you get older, as you develop more into your sun sign qualities, and you learn to, to protect, and defend that inner child, defend yourself and not be so vulnerable, right? But every so now and then, some people fall through the cracks, unfortunately. And some people that you thought, you swore up and down, nope, this person's not going to betray me. They have not shown any qualities, any signs that I can see so far in all of our, time of being friends or partners or whatever, family, that they would betray me. So, I'm just, I trust this person. And then that one time they betray you, they do something so hurtful and just so dismissive and not thoughtful. And you see their true colors. And you think to yourself, how? I thought I paid attention. I thought I saw all the signs. Scorpio, Moon in Scorpio. I go back to, at the end of the day, the only person you can really, fall back on, the only person that, who really has your back, who, really has your best interest at heart is yourself, right? So, with that being said, why not trust yourself more? Who can you trust? You. You're an intuitive sign, you're an intuitive person. Even as a child, you were intuitive. You had a third eye and you knew it. But as you got older, you somehow learned to not listen to that intuition. You somehow learned that it's better to listen to other people and your mind more so than your heart and your emotions and your intuition, because feelings are bad and emotions are, cloud up things, but there's power in emotion and in intuitive ability and being connected to your emotions and your inner depths, like you are Moon in Scorpio. So connect to that side of yourself and don't lose sight of it. Can it sometimes be very scary and overpowering? I don't know why that was so hard to say. And make you feel very vulnerable and weak and just like scary, like absolutely. But the more you learn to be okay in that vulnerable state, because you don't like being vulnerable, Moon in Scorpio, even because it takes you back to that child that was very vulnerable, and susceptible to certain things and people. So you don't like to go back to that state, right? But the more you learn to be okay in that state, the more you learn to work through that emotion, the more you learn to accept the emotions that come up, deal with the emotions that come up, you know, in a healthy way, the stronger you'll become. The more self reliant you'll become on yourself, the more trustworthy of yourself and your emotions and your intuition that you'll become. Because you'll say to yourself, I got through this. I got through this situation, and I got through the healing of this situation and the processing of this situation. So I say all this to say, Moon and Scorpio, that the person that you can most trust is yourself. And I think in trusting yourself more, believing in yourself more, and listening to yourself more, you will naturally be able to weed out and vet out the people who are most likely to betray you, who are most likely to turn their backs on you, who are most likely to not be a true friend or a true partner, a true valuable asset to your life in general. The more you listen to your intuition, because the universe, spirit, God, whatsoever, is always giving you signs, but sometimes we don't listen. Sometimes we say, oh, no, like that, that was just a thought I was having, like, no, like, thoughts are powerful. Thoughts matter. If you can think it, it can happen, all right? Someone in Scorpio, connect to that depth within yourself, connect to that power within yourself, and trust yourself more. At the end of the day, you are the only person you can trust. The more you trust yourself, the better you'll be able to vet out the people that you can trust, outside of yourself, okay? So, with that being said, Moon in Scorpio, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Please contact me at lamartownsendtarot.com for your own personal psychic tarot reading. You can also contact me at lamar.townsend@gmail.com for your own private confidential psychic tarot reading. And I would love to hear from you. So also follow me on Instagram at Lamar Townsend, like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Lamar Townsend official. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, share with your friends and family. Until the next video, Moon and Scorpio. See ya.